Hey folks, hey everybody, what's going on? We're here for my last ranking video, looking back on 2024. I did a lot of these this year. It was a big undertaking, finally coming down, finishing things up, and it's my reality TV ranking. Now, last year, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I did a reality TV ranking for 2023, and that was on the Tarkaron YouTube channel, Tarqaron. That's the channel I do with my friend Alec, where we do a variety of stuff from gaming to TV to movies, reviews, discussions, shenanigans, and we watch old school Survivor every week. But I put that over there since those people might be more interested in that. It seems like people did engage with it quite a bit. But I do have this new channel, Zach Archer TV, where I'll be able to talk about movies, television, and reality TV, which is a big passion of mine. Particularly for me, reality TV, which is the case for all these, it mostly entails the strategy, social strategy, competition reality shows. I'm not big into like Real Housewives, those kinds of reality shows. Though I'm not opposed to them, I wouldn't mind getting into some of those more, but this is really more my cup of tea. And if you want to see a ranking of every movie and non-reality show that I watched in 2024, that's also on this channel. And if you want to see a ranking of every video game that I beat in 2024, that's on the Zach Archer Games channel. If you want to see a ranking of every album I finished in 2024, that's on the Zach Archer channel. And on Tarkaron, we also did a top 10 in 2024, where we both had to decide on the top 10 of all these different things combined: movies, TVs, and games. So that brings me all to say, I don't talk about modern reality TV on Tarkaron so much because Alec, I'm keeping him spoiler free, particularly on Survivor as we make our way through that, but keeping the door open for other reality shows as well. So don't want him to be spoiled on those either. So I'm going to do it just like I did last year. I'm going to go through, I have 8 reality shows to rank, 8 separate seasons of reality TV. And I'm just going to go 8, 7, 6, all the way through 1. But before I do that, I want to shout out 3 shows that didn't come out in 2024. Unlike my other rankings, this list, my ranking of 8, is all reality shows that aired in the year 2024. But there are 3 that I watched that didn't air in that year, and I wanted to shout them out. One of them is Survivor Nicaragua, which is season 21 of Survivor. It was my last season of US Survivor that I had not seen. So then finally I checked that off, and I've seen them all. Though there are still quite a bit in the 20s that I would really like to rewatch at some point to get more refreshed, because it's been years since I've seen them. I was very young. But Survivor Nicaragua, that was fun. I mean, I'm a big fan of Survivor Gabon, so it has a similar kind of mess to it, which I don't mind. There's some fun characters in there. And ultimately, it's one of those messy seasons that ends up with like a chaotic kind of winner, like one you didn't expect. I don't always mind those. I usually like having a satisfying winner, but there's kind of something satisfying that in this kind of season as well. There's elements I like and don't like, but ultimately I come away with more that I like than not. And it's a positive outlook on Survivor Nicaragua, especially considering it's known to be kicking off with like the dark ages of Survivor right after Heroes versus Villains. I wouldn't necessarily batch it in. Like, you go from Nicaragua to Redemption Island, that's a huge step down, and then we can talk from there. But Nicaragua, there you go. Another show that I watched for the first time in 2024 is The Mole. I watched season 1 of The Mole, and I will say, even including all the ones that came out in 2024, this is probably my least favorite of all the shows. Not that it's bad necessarily, but something about the vibe just didn't quite work for me. It's an interesting concept in that you have to guess who, like, you're trying to speculate along with them, but it's also weird because, they're the mole, whoever the mole is, which you find out obviously, they're actively lying to you the whole time because they're doing these confessionals saying, like, I think this person's the mole or this or that. And it's just I don't really like that element of it. So it's like you can't really suss people out because they're constantly just showing people doing suspicious things and people are sus for this or that. And then we don't even know who's telling us the truth and who's just like saying shit for the camera. But ultimately, I liked it. I like mostly what I appreciated about it were the big missions. I mean, it was a Netflix show, so they seemed to have a decent budget for it at least. Like, you got to go into these do a mission on a train and random shit like that, which I thought was pretty cool for like reality shows. The challenge parts of it are usually my least favorite. So for what it's worth, I like that. And they had a couple cool different mechanics, a couple episodes that are like escape rooms essentially in how they function, which I like escape rooms a lot. But, just not my favorite when compared to some of the other ones. The last one I watched that didn't come out in 2024 is my first time ever watching Australian Survivor. No spoilers. I'm not going to give any spoilers for it. Maybe I could do a deep dive more at some point in the future and go into spoilers. But I'll just say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's an extra long season compared to what we're used to in the US. It was like double the episodes because they had so many people, 24 people going in there, which is wild. 24 people competing for $500,000. I'll just say the journey we go on, it's very bumpy, especially early on. I really hate all the nonsense twists they were throwing at the wall for no reason. It's like I was going to Australian Survivor thinking maybe it's a little more grounded than US Survivor. I'd heard in recent history, like during the new era of US Survivor, that Australian Survivor was kind of better. And I think that's still the prevailing discourse on it. But I don't know if that was after this one or they're including it because there's just some really twisty stuff that I didn't appreciate. Ultimately, I come out liking more than I didn't from the season just because of how it ended. I thought it was a satisfying conclusion, and narratively I really liked how they presented some of the finale was very dramatic and how they presented it, and I just liked a lot going in there. There's some editing things that I quibble with, but overall I thought it was fun. It was like a different vibe. It was just refreshing to see new Survivor. It's something that's always been kind of othered, International Survivor. I had never really had a way to watch it, but now since I'm a patron of RHAP, I can watch through their International Survivor links. So that's how I do it there, and it's been fun. It's like basically watching new Survivor, like just as much Survivor as US Survivor, and it's refreshing just seeing different things than like the formula we're used to with the new era. Not the set amount of tribes, like already, because I watched the one season, which is the 2016 version. So it's like the first season of Australian Survivor since they did like the reboot in 2016. So yeah, I wanted to start from the beginning there. And then I started the season after that. I'm a few episodes into that. But I'll just say from that, they're already like made distinct changes from season to season, just like how Survivor used to do in the U.S. Which is refreshing to see because we've had so much same with the new era. All right, let's get into the ranking of the seasons that came out in 2024. Sound off below on any of these, your thoughts on any of them. I would love to hear it. I would love to get some more reality TV discourse going since I haven't really been able to do so in my own solo channel, which is primarily music focused, and then on Tarkron, I can't really talk about Modern Survivor too much, except for the occasional video. Let me know which ones of these you've seen, or if there are other ones that came out in 2024 that are worth seeing that I didn't. Whether it's a well-known show or not, I don't care. Just tell me. Just let me know. Number 8, Deal or No Deal Island, Season 1. I'll say this right now, I don't dislike any of the seasons on my list. So Deal or No Deal Island being last, I don't know if it's entirely accurate. It's just a hard calculus to make. Because ultimately when I look at Dondi, the first season, I'm conflicted because I think the cast overall, the editing is so lopsided that it's hard to really enjoy most of them. You're not really invested in any of them in a meaningful way. And then some of the strategy, I don't like how so much of it is based on luck. Obviously, that's the deal or no deal element of it. But it's just harder for me to really get on board as much because so much of it is kind of random at the end of the day. But the big highlight for me is I'm a big Boston Rob fan, and he is in peak form here. Like, amazing. When I heard that he was going to be on there just by himself, I'm like, he's toast. He's going to be out like within 2 episodes. And he kept amazing me and amazing me. Kind of a wet fart how everything ended, but it was fun just seeing Boston Rob in 2024 really getting to put on a show, and he's so good. He's just so good. We're already seeing it on The Traitors season 3, how he just delivers good TV, regardless of how he does. Number 7, The Amazing Race season 36. Here's the thing with Amazing Race. I watch it every year. I distinctly remember this season being really fun. I really remember enjoying it thoroughly. And I love it just because it's so different than the other reality shows I watch. Like, just getting to see the culture. And it's one of those shows where it's like not too strategic. There's a little bit of like mingling and working together on this thing or that. But ultimately, it's not about the strategy. It's about just performing, doing the task at hand. And it's just fun seeing the different tasks, the different environments, and the cultures that they interact with. So I like it for that. It's actually like a fun adventure. And I remember distinctly liking this season. Rarely do I not like an Amazing Race season. But it consistently will fall towards the bottom of my ranking because it's much more forgettable to me. Like, just thinking of it now, I can't think of a single person. I can't think of anything that happened in Amazing Race. And unlike Big Brother and Survivor and these kinds of shows, I really cannot pinpoint what happened on one season to the next. Like, having watched the past several seasons in a row over the years, I still couldn't tell you like what was on 33, 34, 35, the most recent ones. I have no idea. So it all kind of blends together to me. So while it's a fun watch and I love it in the moment, it just doesn't rise to the ranks of some of these other shows for me, Number 6, The Circle, season 6. There are 2 seasons of The Circle this year for some reason. This is a show where I enjoy it, but it's never been huge for me. It was always just like more of a mindless. In the same way that I said Amazing Race is not super strategic, The Circle tended to not be super strategic either, so I don't like really hone in on the strategy or overanalyzing things too much like I would with other shows. I just kind of, I watch it, I enjoy it, and move on. But more and more with these couple seasons they released this season, I'm getting more into it, and they are becoming more strategic, so I'm like locking in a little more. But this season, I have a little lower than the other season of The Circle, only because I just thought the most recent one was the most satisfying finish. They're still kind of in a similar ballpark as Amazing Race. They're not going to really compare to some of the other reality shows, the ones that I love, that you'll see later. But this season had a fun cast, and it had that cute little AI twist as well, which was like, it was fun. It was pretty fun. Number 5, Survivor 47. The new era has been kind of hit or miss for me. And I've been generally in agreement that these last few seasons, they've gotten generally better and better in ways. But there's still something missing that it's not quite to the level of old school US Survivor back in the heyday. It's not the same. It's like a different game. But when I'm watching Survivor, I'm in. I'm fully invested, every season. 47 is one that I really enjoyed in the end. I thought there was an iconic episode, Operation Italy, one of my favorite Survivor episodes in quite some time, like a brilliant episode. And I love certain players this season and their different arcs. Without going into specifics or anything, pretty satisfying winner. Not my like number one pick or one I was like super enthused about, but still satisfying. And I'd say there's some lulls to the season. It's not always firing on all cylinders, but once it gets going, it's going and it's strong. It's a fun time. And then we had a pretty fun merge-ish character who was had a good impact on the season, as frustrating as he was to watch. But yeah, overall I feel pretty good about the season. I like it more than most of the New Era seasons. But yeah, not quite at the tippity top. Number 4, The Circle, Season 7. This one I gave just a little bit of an edge over the other one. I just thought it was a lot more satisfying in how it all came together. The cast, again, really fun. I loved a lot of what we got here. They had some fun games, some intriguing twists. Like, I thought everything kind of worked a lot better in this one. And we're getting more and more geared towards like a little more strategic year, season after season. And I'm liking it. I'm liking the direction we're going in. I'm getting more invested. So, it's solid. It's solid. Number 3, The Traitors, Season 2. The Traitors is at the top of my list in terms of reality shows I look forward to now. And only the second season in when I watched this. Now currently watching season 3. I was so hyped for it and continue to be. I'm looking forward to, you'll definitely see in future years these international Traitors seasons coming up from previous years. They're definitely top of my list to watch soon. I heard there's some really good ones, especially like the UK. So I'm definitely gonna be checking those out. More Traitors is always great. It's really amazing. It's a mafia game in the most dramatic way possible, with some great reality TV personalities. It's campy, but at the same time, there's fun strategy. A lot of great like fan fiction moments of people interacting you wouldn't think. I like the idea of having all new people playing like some of the international seasons do. I think that gives you the most authentic experience of like just being able to do things purely based on reads and not playing the meta game too much. But there is something cool about how it's like an Avengers now each season of the US Traitors, of like what reality shows will be represented, who's going to be there. They've been really hitting the juggernauts in these first 3 seasons. I don't know what we're going to see in the next couple seasons that are already renewed, but I'm here for it. Super hyped. Traitors Season 2, I have it really high in my rankings. It's number 3 out of the 8 from this year. But looking back on it, I don't feel like I was nearly as into it as the first season comparatively, just because of how things went and like how it kind of went a little bit downhill in the middle. Still got an iconic like moment in the finale, which is cool, but nothing compares to the end of season 1 for me. But season 3, just in the first few episodes we've seen to this point, it's already shaping up to be my favorite season, I think. It just needs to stick the landing. We'll see how it goes. But Traitors, I think naturally, every year will probably be very high on my ranking. I have a hard time seeing it go very low, just by the nature of the beast. I still have some problems with how it's designed, and I would like to make a separate video on it at some point on how they could improve it and where I think it's lacking a bit. But overall, love it. It's one I look forward to more than maybe any other reality show, really. Number 2, Big Brother 26. This is one I was conflicted of. These top 2, it's up in the air for me. I enjoy both of them quite a bit. As far as Big Brother goes, this was pretty peak. One of the best seasons in a while. Killer throughout. The fact that the veto was used so many times consecutively. Crazy personalities that I was personally here for. Loved the chaos of it. We love some mess, at least me personally. And it really delivered in so many ways. There was some bad strategy, some really good strategy, a satisfying winner, and some fun characters along the way. Towards the end, it was becoming less interesting, as Big Brother tends to do towards the end of the season, but particularly when the winner becomes a little more predictable and no one's really doing much to push back on it. That's kind of a shame. So the win kind of gets taken out of the sails towards the end. So I just appreciate that we got a satisfying winner, at least. That's as much as I can really ask for in that situation. But it was a lot of fun. Number 1, Survivor 46. Ultimately, it was really a toss-up between Big Brother 26 and Survivor 46, which I actually think share some similarities in terms of vibe. And I was here for them, both of them. But I think just Survivor tends to edge out Big Brother in general for me. And as a product, it's harder to really hold Big Brother above that, just because, Big Brother, it's got its stupid stuff. It's really bad edits. It's awful effects at times, like weird scripted moments. The stuff that's kind of like silly, which you got to embrace to some extent, but I also like the weight of something like Survivor and how it's presented more. And generally, I think I just enjoyed Survivor 46 a little bit more. It's tough though. What was most conflicting for me is that the beginning of Survivor 46 was kind of infamously pretty rough, particularly with a certain merge character who consumes a lot of the time. That was pretty tough. And then it's like once you get that merge, you're in for a killer second half with the idols mishaps and then the messy ending of the season, just really memorable. Like it'll always stick out in my mind for sure. The drama with all of that. There's so much juicy stuff in the season, and I love certain characters that are really memorable to me. I like them a lot in here, and the season had some good ones. But that's where it was tough between Big Brother and Survivor. Big Brother had a weaker end of the season. Survivor had a weaker start to the season. And I tend to forgive that more with Survivor. I think if you have a weak pre-merge but a really strong post-merge, I'm much more likely to forgive it than if it's the other way around type of thing. And 46, again, within a new era context, it's one of my favorites. I think it's probably second to 45 for me still. It's really close though. Excellent season. I think 45 edges it out just because of more consistency from start to finish. But yeah, still in the grand scheme of things, I don't know where I would stack it up against some older seasons of US Survivor. It's always tough for me to compare the new era to the older ones, but definitely enjoyed it. Solid. Some solid year of reality TV. There's still some more that I'm checking out that I missed out on. There's still like shows like House of Villains, which I had seen part of the first season, never watched the second, even though I like kind of know the outcome, so I'm kind of less inclined to watch that. There's a couple others I want to check out. Currently watching The Devil's Plan, which is a Korean TV show, which I believe came out. It was either 2024 or 2023. I can't remember now. But someone had recommended it in the comments a while ago, and then I saw it on Netflix scrolling. I was like, let me check it out. I'm only a couple episodes in. That's pretty cool. But I would expect to see that next year in some capacity, like at least a mention. Like these couple out of the year that I did mention. But let me know any more that I missed out on that I should check out. Please let me know all your thoughts on any of these that I mentioned or some of your favorites in general. Do you disagree with any of my rankings or what? Let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel for more reality TV coverage as well as movies and television in general. And stay tuned for more content just like this. Thank you.